Hey everyone, Nico here. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday to you all. And today is another bonus stream for you all today. Yesterday we did Rift of the Necrodancer by Brace Yourself Games. Wonderful little rhythm game. But today I have another indie game for you all. And it is, there it is, Stories from Sol, the Gun Dog. This is the Starship Edition, which I'll go in depth about in a moment. But yes, I want to quickly say hi to everyone in the chat right now. We have got Bandit7512, Archduke of Prussia, Andy Sloan, I Need More Chicken Nuggets. Welcome on in. We've got Fisher Rosa in here as well with the lurk. No worries, enjoy your lurk, Rosa. We've got Iron J here as well. Kirby Rawstorn says, hey buddies, here for a little lurk. This will be a great stream to lurk on, by the way. Daily Drummer is here. Welcome in, Daily Drummer. And thanks for the follow on Instagram. That was just a total joke. We like to joke about this kind of stuff, so in case people feel a bit like weird or forced out, that's just the thing that we do over here. Illusion says, hey buddies, playing Wilds, so I'll be lurking in the background. Nice. Yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds has been doing like incredibly. I think it's like the best release game that Capcom has ever had, and the numbers also showed it on our end. Like, people have been absolutely loving that game. Who else do we have here? We've got let's see, Saint McTavish is here. Welcome on in. Andy Sloan is here. Welcome on in. Welcome. I see we have Zetsubera over here with a lovely little dancing jelly emote over here. Welcome on in. I see Stacy is here. Welcome in, Stacy, and Seth coming in with the buddies dancing. Probably to the mixtape, which is, by the way, that was Snatcher, and specifically the Mega CD version of Snatcher. Probably one of the most sought after games on that platform, and super expensive, but a wonderful little visual novel style game, which I will also recommend if you ever get the opportunity for it. But yes, that's a very tricky one to get these days, so you might need to find another way to play that one, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, yes, and I think, hold up, I see Lamode, Luden's Atlas is here, welcome on in. I see Autumnal Bloomer as well, welcome on in. Welcome. And I think that was everyone in the chat. Yes. So yeah, welcome on in. For in case you don't know who I am, my name is Nico, and normally we're a team of three, either Rosie with me or Liam. And Rosie right now is on the BuddyGames account, in case people are wondering who that person is. And we're a team of three, and we stream usually PlayStation 1 games all the way to PlayStation 5. But this year, I set myself a goal. I want to make sure I cover more indie games. So this game was put on my radar by moderator Sangui. And he pointed out that I was like, okay, Nico, I know you like Snatcher. I know you like visual novel games like Phoenix Wright and Zero Escape and that kind of stuff. You might want to check this game out. And it was a little game called Stories from Sol, the Gun Dog. And when I saw the art style for it, it reminded me of a little game that I play called Brain of the Dead, which I will never stream here on Twitch. That will never fly. But yeah, it's kind of like those kind of games where indeed you have a visual novel and you have little prompts. Kind of like, you know, if you've played a little like Monkey Island, you might recognize some of these like PC point-and-click prompts to it. And I've been very, very lucky with this one, because not only did we get a code to play this game, I actually went to the Bristol Video Games Expo and they had a booth over there. I couldn't believe it. I know there's maybe some devs in the chat right now, in case you're watching. Also, hi, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And they gave me some cool stuff over here, so I just wanted to show some of it off. So not only do we have like a lovely little flyer of the game that explains what the game is all about. You got little like QR codes, you're gonna scan it, I suppose. But also they have it in Nihongo, if you fancy to learn a bit of Japanese over here. So yes, you've got that over there as well. And they've got these super awesome stickers of the crew over here. Check this out. Check this art out. It's awesome, isn't it? It's got this like wonderful vintage 80s and 90s anime to it. Reminds me of like animes like Gundam I see in it. Super cool. And yeah, we'll obviously meet all these characters in the game. But not only that, but we have this one as well. They have like a nice little retro version of it. Because this game has got multiple art styles to it that you can play right now in the game, which I thought was worth showing. And because I played up to Chapter 5, at the end of Chapter 5 at the moment, I haven't had time to play more of it, but I've been loving my time with it. I went ahead and just bought the game. I was like, I just want to own this game now. This game is terrific. And I want to show it off to the buddies as to why I think it's terrific. But yes, you got a wonderful little sleeve with it. And with it, you got this wonderful box art as well, which again, like very Gundam with the mechs on the front and stuff. So what was cool about their booth, they had also these little stickers that they were handing out to people. So we're very fortunate to have those as well. Look, you got the cast again. So yeah, absolutely, like seriously, Space Colony Studios, this is super cool. You guys have done a great job with all the promotion work. But yes, so what I come to learn is that Space Colony Studios is a studio that works in Cardiff, which is very, very close to Bristol. But also some of the parts of the game were also made in Bristol. I'm not entirely sure which parts, but that's at least what Ben told me. But yeah, that's super cool actually. Like Bristol-based video game over here, everyone. Oh, I forgot. So I've got a little pin of the JCF ship that they're on. So I thought I'd just wear that one for the occasion as well. So yeah, you can play this game on PlayStation 5 or on Nintendo Switch or on Steam, in case you're wondering. I just thought it's worth mentioning. And I played it specifically on PlayStation 5 because of our technical side going on. We didn't want to like work too much with Steam because we've had a couple of hiccups with that in the past. But I have played a little bit on it on Steam Deck, and it's wonderful. Natalie Mundy is here as well. Welcome in, Natalie, saying, and I agree with you, this game looks very anime. Reminds me of Gundam and Evangelion. Yes, you will not be disappointed with the art style for this game, which indeed, like I said, I will go in depth about once we boot the game up. But yes, it's actually really cool to see, you know, a game you're not only excited for, but then you can actually like go into that booth, talk to the devs about it, and then have this amazing opportunity as well thrown your way where you can yeah, show off to the buddies what this game is all about. So yeah, I think that is all the spiel I wanted to say about it quickly. So, like I said, it's going to be visual novel game. It's going to be a lot of reading. It's going to be a lot of like talking over it. So, you have to say, if you're looking to lurk for a stream, this might be a very good one for today. Ultimate says, beautiful Starship Edition. Yeah, it's lush, isn't it? Look at how green this is. I don't know if it was obvious yet, but I did wear green for the occasion, because if you love the color green, buddies, oh boy, this is your game. This game has so much green in it. You can even make everything green if it's not green enough for you, apparently. It's super, super green. What is it? Who else do we have here? Those are great, says St. McTavish. The artist would love to hear that, I suppose. So yes, quickly as well, we've got a couple of things here on BuddyGames. We also have a thing called the Book of Eternity, which is this thing over here. I don't have it on me right now because Rosie in the other room is using it. So if you either give bits, donate, rate, was it donate anything through Throne, or was it money through the panel down below, or you rate into this stream, your name will be noted down in the Book of Eternity, and you'll get a nice little shout out at the end of the stream. As I said, all the money you make on BuddyGames goes straight back into it. So your support means the world to us, because it makes us be able to have good mics like these, have a little setup like this, go to events and represent BuddyGames and meet up with fans over there. So these are all opportunities that you guys create for us here on BuddyGames, and that's why we want to support and keep that money as close to the brand as possible. Bandit75 Phil, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Currently on a 32-month streak. Are you seeing this, Rosie? That is crazy. 32 months of constant support. That is almost 3 years of constant support. But yes, I've rambled on enough about my life and about this game and how it's been eating up my evenings. Let's go into the game, shall we? Let's have a look. And it's not on at the moment. Hold up. Is it this one? There we go. Right, let me just double check if the volume is okay. Yep, that's in place. It's probably a little bit loud. Let me just turn it down a little bit. Right, let me know what the volume levels are, buddies, and if this is all good. So, as I said, we're currently playing this on a PlayStation 5, and what I will be doing is I will jump into a save file that goes straight to Chapter 2. All you need to know for now is that with the intro is that there was a huge fight that was going on, and things went horribly wrong. However, we were stuck in a cockpit, and then because of that, we didn't go fully on the mission, and some people might have some difficulties with that. But yes, we are now transported to this other ship, where we meet, obviously, a lovable cast over there, which I'm very excited to show to you all. But yes, right, let's press load on this one, and let's go to this one over here. There we go. So let me just first demonstrate what you're going to expect when you play this game. So over here, if you look to the right, like where I'm currently scrolling, if you look over there, you see all these buttons that you can press. And these are like very typical in PC 98 fashion style. You click a prompt and then you click on the area that you can select what you would like to do within that area. Obviously, we'll unlock more of those over time, but this was purely PC 98 style back in the day. This was very normal stuff where indeed you click a prompt and then you click something on the screen and then you would have your text box explain what's going on. There's a lot of elaboration as well as a result, and it's a great time if you're looking for a game, like I said, like Phoenix Wright, or you're looking for a game that is a bit similar to Snatcher or something like that. This is very much for people that are looking for a very specific genre of games, and they have absolutely smashed it, in my opinion. So that's why I wanted to cover it, because games like Snatcher, I really, really enjoy. So I wanted to show this one off. Seth says, I think we overwhelmed it yesterday. Did you break the buddy bot again? What's going on? Form is good for me, says St. McTavish. Awesome. Awesome. So a thing that is immediately stands out as well is the very like rough dithering that's going on. So if you don't know pixel art, dithering is basically the transition from one color to another. And what they do, they create these like little patterns that make the color transition into another color. So if you like smudge the screen a little bit, you would then see a bit of a gradient effect going on. This is deliberate. This is 100% what PC 98 games used to look like back in the day, and they are very, very aesthetically pleasing, especially on a CRT or a PVM monitor or something like that. So that is 100% the style they're going for over here, but it's worth pointing out to say that they've absolutely smashed it with that one. I adore how this game looks as a result, and yeah, like I said, they've absolutely nailed it. But yes, so we're now in this ship at the moment. We've just arrived in the ship, and this is our room. So we're just going to explore a little bit and learn a little bit about what's going on exactly, because they throw you quite in the deep end at the beginning of this game. So we know as much right now as what we're supposed to know. It's not like I'm holding some information away from you all. So if you press the D-pad right now, you can just like select an area and interact with it. And then down here on the bottom, it will give you some explanation about it. So I'll be reading this one out. I'll do my best. I'm not the best reader, but what is it? Like I said, I'll do my best for tonight. So this is obviously the protagonist. A standard cruise bunk. The wall panel can be removed by jimmying it and with a thin object, and the crew members often stash contraband there. It looks like this is one. This one's not been touched though. So if we go into this one, this lets me control the room's lighting from the bed. I keep my books here too. I'm currently reading the Tales of the Cosmic Champion series. I wonder sometimes if those are like references to other pieces of media. I think I did spot one in my playthrough of this game, but I'm not entirely sure. This terminal lets me access the ship's computer. It's got a clock, a word processor, and even a calendar. I can also access records and my orders from here, but for anything else, I need to access the core, which is limited to those in operations or command. So let's check this one out. It's just a normal storage unit. I travel light, so mine has only has clothes in it. A standard door with electronic lock, magnetic bolting system. Let me check one thing quick. If I do this, the only way the in or out, unless you play on getting creative with maintenance tunnels. Let's try the use button. Let's use the door. This way to my next assignment. I should get moving soon. Like, I know that my camera is going to be here. Let me just very quickly change something around for now. Very, very quickly. It's over here. Yeah, it's over here. Ta-da! There we go. Now I'm facing the game. It's like one of my little pet peeves with streamers. It's like, please face the game. I understand that it's difficult. Please face the game. There we go. It looks like I've been instructed to report to the bridge to meet the captain. Mirror magic, says Seth. Well, I haven't met anyone yet since my transport to the spaceport. Since my transport to the spaceport ran late, and I just about made it on board before launch. Select the move button to move to a different location from a list of options. If you change your mind, select the button again. So one of the things I will show off with this game as well, which I absolutely like, is that not only does it like respect the kind of nature of this game, because obviously, like, you know, nowadays you've got so many cool features and waypoints where you can go to, and quick travel, all that kind of stuff. This game has found ways to not only like respect the old formula, but find clever ways to have quality of life improvements on the genre. So this move button over here might feel primitive for new people to be like, really, why can't I just like have a map for it? But that was what it was back then. You would have to remember how the whole thing was laid out. And yeah, this game respects that element too. But yes, there are cool features that make that a little bit easier, but we haven't unlocked them yet. You step out into an empty corridor, and the door to your quarters gently hisses shut behind you. Its keypad gives a short series of beeps, and you hear the lock engage. The dull thrum of the ship's systems is barely audible, but otherwise, you are stood in total silence. The air is cooler outside of your quarters, and the corridor has a sterile lack of aroma. This has been the same on every ship you've been stationed on, and at this point, it doesn't surprise you. Okay, so this is a Swift-class patrol vessel, which means if I leave this quarter, I'll be on the Foresight thoroughfare. If I go right towards the AFT, I'll arrive in the central hub, and then I can head to the bridge. So, if we do this one over here, Lamo, this game is so a bit of me. What do you, Lamo? Do you mean like this era of game? Is that what you're after? Because yeah, it's indeed like PC 98 kind of games, which also is a very, very hard system to kind of like make up to like. Make running on modern systems. It's a very difficult system to lay out. Like I said, to run. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just difficult. It's not like a Super Nintendo where they can run on multiple systems. It's sadly not the case with this one yet. So there's lots of games lost to time or not ready yet to be released. But it's cool to see that this game is already here and you can play it right now. You leave the crew block behind you and find yourself in a much larger corridor that stretches off to your left and with multiple smaller corridors leading from it. To your right, the corridor leads to a large plaza-like space. A very faint breeze coming from your left ruffles your hair and chills you slightly, and you hear the sounds of human activity. Marin, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Yep, exactly the kind of text-based game style with visual effects. Yes, I'll go in depth about it a bit more now in a bit, but I'll read out what it says first. From the right, you can hear the hum on the ship's engines more clearly now, as well as the occasional low, quiet whirring sound. Looks like I was right. The portion of the thoroughfare will let me access both sets of the crew quarters, the mess hall, and the hangar and the central hub. From there, I can access the rest of the ship's areas. I should hurry up and meet the captain before I look around anywhere else. Yeah, so Lamote, sorry. The thing that's so beautiful about this game is that not only do you get like dialogue for things, it likes to expose you to more dialogue, because back in the day, this texture, like choose your own adventure style games, had to elaborate on so many things because they couldn't animate it all, they couldn't show all the cool stuff that they would like to, so they had to find other ways to, entice you to play these games. So that's why for some this might feel like there's a lot of dialogue in this game, a lot of reading, but that is deliberate. That is 100% the style. Is this Wii bowling? Says Richie92. Why is it Wii bowling, Richie? I would like to know what the logic in there is. But hi, welcome in, Richie. Hope you're doing well. Let's go to the central hub. As you enter the central hub, you hear a low whirring noise and the engine grow louder. You can see the readouts above one of the elevator change, letting you know someone is using it to travel to another part of the ship. Looking around you, you see the entrances to both the 4 and AFT side thoroughfares, as well as the corridors to the airlocks. Apologies, by the way, if I'm reading this wrong. It's my second language. I do my best. These elevators will take me to the bridge where the captain will be. I shouldn't waste any more time. Right, so the character is very much adamant. We gotta go see the captain. We have to do this. Knowing that you need to report to the captain, who, at this point of the ship's journey, should be stationed on the bridge, you make your way towards the elevators and press the call button. You step back and watch the indicators above each elevator, waiting for one to arrive. As you wait, your mind begins to wander, and you're caught unaware as you feel something suddenly jab into the back, and a voice behind you declares, "Hands in the air! Identify yourself!" Your posture stiffens as you snap back to reality, caught completely off guard by the voice behind you. Thoughts race through your mind as you try to figure out what's going on. Could there be another security detail on board? That shouldn't be possible. As far as you know, you were the only one. Unless... I said, hands in the air, punk! You tentatively raise your hands, palms flat and facing forwards, as whatever has been thrust into the small of your back is removed slowly. And you hear the person behind you take a step backwards. You exhale and begin to turn around. Lieutenant Fleek. That's my last name. Security detail. ID SO254 JFSG. I'm on my way to meet the captain too. Oh. Where you have been expecting a gruff crew member. Instead, you've met with a bright and cheery officer waving a pen towards around with a small smile on her face. You're taken aback from a moment, as this isn't just any officer. This is Cassie. What are you? Nico, I've missed you so much. You big doofus. You should have seen your face when you turned around. You were all... I love that face when you make when you think you're in trouble. It's like you think you're playing with Big Soldier. Playing the Big Soldier will get you out of trouble. It's so cute. Lieutenant Commander Cassandra Quinn. You should have known, really. She's always been one for the bad jokes and stupid pranks as long as you've known her. Her less than professional attitude and penchant for irresponsibility is the reason why, despite her talents, she's not commanding a ship of her own. So, on a scale from 1 to 10, how good did I get you? You totally thought you were being busted, right? But, if you're being honest, her playful nature is what attracted you to her in the first place. You've been dating her for nearly 2 years now, but a lot of that has been over electronic mail or in letters. Your postings have never lined up until now. Cassie, what are you doing here? I thought you were stationed on the Reliant. You've never said you were being transferred. What happened? Well, the thing about this is, you might say that a disagreement with the head of operations on the Reliant led to a lateral trajectory of my career. Seth says, Rosie, did you know about this? Dating, says Rosie. Yes, the character that we are playing right now, Lieutenant Fleek, has been dating Cassandra for 2 years, apparently. So Cassandra is a love interest within this story, and are going to probably be quite the bedrock for this story. Cassandra, please. Okay. So maybe when it came time to change the ship's cybersecurity passwords, I couldn't be bothered to spend all day sitting in the computer core, waiting for it to generate new code so I can just change all the existing passwords by a single digit. You place your face in the hands of a dull groan rises from the back of your throat. This isn't the first time you've heard a story like this. And maybe it turns out when they run the cybersecurity drills, they assume the enemy have your old passwords to try brute forcing from those. And maybe that meant that the ship was compromised in 0.5 seconds. But at least they found out. I'd done that in a drill and not in a real engagement, right? I've basically saved the entire ship in advance. I'm surprised you're still even stationed on the ship. How are you not stuck back in the records room at Europa colony right now? Well, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but if I can't trust you, who can I trust? It turns out that this mission was organized at really short notice, and the Gundog was the only ship available. The problem was that they have been they've been having issues with the crew, so they had to transfer some in short notice. Lucky for me, that I'd represent so recently made been available. That's weird. I only just been stationed on the Duke, so I shouldn't have been free to be transferred. Well, okay, you figured it out. I may have used one of my contacts from the Academy who works in Resource to transfer you over here. I'm pretty sure you know every regulation you broke by doing that. Oh, what was I supposed to do? Get stationed by some tiny ship heading out in the middle of nowhere with no one I know on the crew? We haven't even seen each other in months. Aren't you glad to see me? Of course, I'm glad to see you. I've missed you too, you know. It's just been a long time. You don't become part of the Reliant Operations Department without some serious talent. I'm not going anywhere. No. You said you were on your way to see the captain, right? Have you had a chance to take a look around the ship yet? No, not yet. I was going to... Great! I'll show you around! I've been here a few days, so I basically know this ship like the back of my hand. Where do you want to go first? I was on my way to see the captain. I felt the engine start up, so I know we're launching soon. And I thought, I should probably report in as soon as possible. Oh, don't worry about that. I've already logged you on board, so it's just a formality now. Besides, Captain Bartomew's isn't exactly a stickler for procedure, so when we can check out anywhere you want before we head up there. Well, alright, in that case, great! This is going to be the best tour you've ever been on. By the time it's over, you'll have every inch of this ship and met everyone on board. It's been so long since we last saw each other, too. We definitely need to take time to stop by my quarters and get reacquainted. You can now access every area of the Gundog. Select the talk button to view a list of who is available to talk to. If you change your mind, select the talk button again. You look around the central hub as Cassandra already begins to make her way to your first destination, waving at you to follow. It might be a small ship, you think, but now will be the perfect opportunity to learn its layout and familiarize yourself with where you'll be spending your current duty. Plus, you admit, it wouldn't hurt to meet all the crew. Better to get to know them sooner rather than later. So, I love this about this game. Like, in the beginning, it only gives you, like, the look and use feature. So, they want to, like, expand that down the line to obviously make, to overwhelm you. Because normally when you play these games, you get to have so many options, so many tools that you can use that you're not really sure which ones to use yet. Because, like, look and use tend to be quite similar to each other in these kind of games. When Cassandra shows up again, I think if I do this, there we go. I want to show you another cool feature about this game. If you press the start button, over here, you can change the art style for the game. So if you love the color green, right? Because as you've noticed, this game is filled to the brim with the color green. You can make this game even more green. There you go. It's all green now. You can make it look like it's a Game Boy game. So that's an option that you've got. Or, if you want to spice it up a little bit, you can also change it to the Dojin art style over here. So you have a different art style that you can use as well, which, by the way, I think the art book in the Starship Edition copy will elaborate a little bit more on. I haven't looked into it yet because, like I said, I haven't finished the story yet, so I don't want to spoil myself on particular characters, just in the event it's written in there. But we're going to play it through Vivid mode for now, but it's just good to know that that is a feature. And also another one that's worth pointing out is that you can pick if you want scan lines on it. Now, I wanted to have the raw pixels visible, so I choose to turn that one off. But you can also change the entire font of the game to something more retro as well. So these are options that you that you have as well accessible straight out of the gate when you get this game. But yes, we're going to play this, and we're going to keep it on modern to keep it easy to read for people in the chat. But yes, I would probably put it on retro myself if I was playing this on my big screen. Can't name a better bonding experience if I tried, says Hikari Kim. You know, it's kind of funny now to think about it. What is? This area is called the Central Hub, but to be honest, the only places you can get straight away from here are the airlock, sickbay, or the bridge. Well, it's right in the middle of the ship, so it connects everything together via the two thoroughfares, right? Kind of, but it's if you want to get to engineering to do some mechanical work, you got a long way to get that way. Then, if you want to do pretty much anything else, you've got to go the other way. The Foresight thoroughfare is way more of a hub since you can get to all sorts of places really quickly, and some snacks from the mess hall to take back to your quarters. Easy. If you want a quick soda, whilst take audit in the hangar, you're there and back in no time. They should move the bridge to the front of the ship. It sounds to me like you just want the vending machine on the bridge. Hey, that's not a bad idea. But still, it's a long way. It's a long way to get to the other end of the ship, no matter where you're going from. How would you solve that problem? Maybe the shape of the ship, so the center really is the center. It's space, so you could make it really efficient shape, like a cube or something. A cube? I guess it could be efficient, but I don't think anyone would take a cube-shaped ship seriously. The Punisher is over here as well. Welcome in, Punisher, saying, I support a vending machine on the bridge. And no worries, enjoy your lurk. Like I said, this is going to be probably a lot of a lurking stream for a lot of you all today. But yes. I love this in the beginning as well. Like you said, if you've played a game like Phoenix Wright, you're going to enjoy this as well in the beginning, because the second chapter is going to be a lot of dialogue between Cassandra and you, and it's very banter, it's very fun, lighthearted, and bubbly. So you get a lot of dialogue expository like that at the moment, whilst seeing what the ship is. Can we go and see Chief yet? Not yet. I think I'm going to go this one. As the two of you leave the central hub behind you and travel down the AFT site thoroughfare, the hum of the engines continues to grow louder. You'd effectively filter the noise out in the rest of the ship. As you got closer to the rear of the ship, its volume increases considerably. Are the engines supposed to be that loud? Are the what? I said, are the engines supposed to be that loud? The what? I said the engines! I heard you first time. I'm just messing with you. You could have fooled me. I've never been on a ship where the engines are so noticeable. Is it supposed to be like that? Supposed to? No, not really. But the Gundog is a Swift class, a type of patrol ship that's designed for rapid response. They're made to cover large areas of space quickly and offer basic assistance to ships in distress. That, or to be the first on the scene to gather intel and issue warnings, and if anyone comes too close to Jovian space. Which means, design-wise, they prioritize speed above everything else. I guess is the best way to sum it all up, is that the Gundog is basically a huge set of engines with a tiny ship strapped to them. Oh, that's reassuring. Oh, it's fine. It just means that there's no space for systems like motion dampers, or soundproofing. You'll miss it when you leave. To be fair, though, I don't know if you have that, buddies, but when you have a car that's just too silent, it just feels wrong. Or if you don't feel the engine humming in a car. Because these days, like, some cars have, like, that the engine is so silent, so quiet, that it doesn't, like, roar anymore. Yeah, I'm one of those people that prefers that. I don't know, it just feels more like you're actually in a car, not just in a fast block that moves around on the street. So what I've done with this playthrough today, what we're going to be doing is at the full hour, we're going to be swapping to another chapter of this game, which will probably be chapter 4, because that's a nice chapter where there's lots of suspense and tension, and show some of the more other elements to this game, because right now we're going to be seeing a lot of characters and a lot of dialogue happening. Right, let's go to engineering, because I want to show off Chief. As the two of you continue through the AFT thoroughfare, the thumb of the engines grow louder still. The featureless paneling that has made up the majority of the ship's interior quickly gives way to visible pipes and conduits, and eventually the smooth flooring transitions to grating, revealing more workings underfoot. Hikari says, if a car is too quiet, I always... sorry, I should do this whilst reading this. Apologies. I'll go quickly back to the game. Finally, the thoroughfare leads into one open chamber filled with masses of machinery. Terminal panels set into the side of various apparatus cycle through different readings. The light from the screens reflected of the ducts and valves. All this equipment is separated by a grid of catwalks and access ladders. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is right. This is the central engineering. Pretty much every system aside from the engines themselves and the central computer can be found in this room. All in one place, isn't that a little risky? Well, a Swift class ship relies on absolutely minimal crew. The Gundog only has 2 engineers. I think they figured it would be easier on them if everything that was important was kept all in one place. That way, they didn't have to run from one end of the ship to another to get all the repairs done if something goes wrong. You certainly know a lot about the ship engineering. What can I say? I'm a pretty talented individual. Oh yeah? Whilst we're here, you can share some of that knowledge. What's that over there? That's the Phalenic conversion unit. And what's that? Oh, that's the omnifaced wane shaft. What about that? That's the turbo encabulator. Every day's a school day. I'm the head of operations, not chief engineer, okay? I don't need to know what. Hey, no one better be screwing up around here. You both jump to a stern voice barks at you from below. I'm gonna read chat for a second. Hikari Kim says, if a car is too quiet, I always panic that something isn't working properly. Natalie Mundy says, my mom had an electric car, and it felt like we were floating down the road. It was weird. Yeah, I've been in one car that was very quiet, and I was not a fan of that myself. I felt that was the, what is it? I felt that, yeah, you just don't really feel like you're on the road. It feels like you forget how big the vehicle is, or how dangerous it is to drive one. You kind of just become reckless as a result. This is basically me when someone asks me what everything in Premiere Pro means, says Rosie. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what example I would have. Maybe like with Pokemons or something. I might have that where it's just like I just don't know the name of the Pokemons, but I do know the design of them. But yeah, we probably all have that with something, don't we, buddies? Where you know bits and pieces of it, but you don't know like the full terminology of it. Same as silent traffic lights, guide dogs are trained of the noise of the light. So if the lights are silent, the dogs won't do anything. Oh my god, Nancy Money, that's a problem indeed. Marion says, my first electric car didn't make a sound. The one I have now, they've added sound to it because of safety. That's interesting you say that, because I think that's God, there was a piece of technology that did this as well. I think it might have been phones or something where they added deliberately a sound to it, even though it makes no sound, Yeah, that was it. It was cameras. So with classic cameras back in the day, you would have the diaphragm that would make a like noise whenever you take a picture. And with phones, there's no reason to have that on there. So as a result, when you take a picture, they still added that like phonetic sound back into it to create that original vibe of of like taking a picture. So it's like that sound feedback that you get back, even though there's no reason for that sound to truly be there. Oh yeah, don't get it twisted. Rosie does know how Premiere Pro works, of course. Let's see. Nefbite, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna go read the game again. You both jump as a stern voice barks at you from below. Looking down, you see through the grating that there's another catwalk situated below the one you stood on, with a crew member moving at the speed towards the ladder that joins the two walkways. I swear, if I find much of as a single terminal readout out of place, I'm stuffing the two of you in the organic processing system. If I have to retrieve one more pen from behind the compressors... The crew members continue to grumble as they ascend. Quinn, you better not be here to tell me that your favorite pen has somehow fallen in the system block again. No, Chief. Got it right here. Down straight you do. Now make sure you hang out onto that one, or you're going to need someone to pull it out of the system block instead. And here we have another character. The character that got a lot of attention on the internet. And who is this? Our wayward security officer. You got a name there? You quickly throw a sharp salute at the woman in front of you without even checking her rank first. Not only does she loom over you physically, but you quickly pick up on the force of personality that feels like it adds an extra 6 inches to her considerable stature. Lieutenant Fink, security officer of the JFS Gundog, ma'am. Less of that man business fleek. My name is Mackenzie Cathays, chief engineer, but that's chief to you. Ah, yes, a chief. Damn straight. Now, what are you two doing in engineering? I was giving Lieutenant Fleek a tour of the ship, Chief. That's so. You never been on a ship before, Lieutenant? First assignment? Never on a Swift class, Chief. I've only been on strike or supply classes to date. I love Zetsubara. Yeah, oh my god, that's a metal slug emote, isn't it? Zetsubara. It's the people that go like, thank you, and then they drop like a rocket launcher or something. Is that what they say in the game, right? Also terrific sprite work in that game. That's so. Which strike vessels? The JFS Victory and the JFS Thunderbolt, Chief. Victory and Thunderbolt, huh? Don't think either of those are less than 3-year-olds, so probably wouldn't have seen what the new streamlined distribution systems. I wonder if you would have seen the power coils, though. I think the Victory was part of that production. You and Cassandra exchange a quick, nervous glance as the chief, who previously seemed like she was about to physically throw both of you out of engineering, suddenly begins a conversation with herself. You continue to stand up to a nervous attention as she ruminates about the ship's components. Chief, is there anything I can help you with about these ships? Oh, huh? Lieutenants! Didn't realize you were still here. No, you're off the hook, Fleek. So, here we go. It's funny you say that, Ikari Kim. Oh, God, sorry, I'm doing this again. Not unless you can tell me whether the Victory was outfitted with the 3rd generation B-Pack upgrades anyway. Sorry, Chief. Didn't think I could. Wonder if that's because the retrofitting takes into account space availability in the ship's interior for minimal transferal impact. Although, maybe it could be that it takes... I think I know what's I think now would be a good time for us to move on. Yeah, good idea. Well, that's all, Chief. Well, we must be going now. Oh, yeah, sure. Just don't let anyone catch you screwing around in here again. Hikari Kim, like, lovable character right now, this Chief, right? Look at this, Hikari Kim. So you get a little art book with the PS5 version. And here's where you have Chief's design as well. I'm going to just put the text away. But yeah, see, this is what they started with. And you just kept, like, iterating and iterating and iterating until we get the design we now know. This one over here. But yeah, you get like a lovely little art book with with the launch of this? No, with the PS5 version of this game. Let me just put this back quickly. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that, buddies. Right, so this is the engineering room, and already, if you love pixel art or you love like settings of like classic PC games, this game will not disappoint. Like, look at this already. And I just love it because back in the day, what they would do is they would just find like very tiny things that they could animate that wouldn't take up too much resources. And you can see that over here with like the little whirring engines. I could probably grab Mr. X for this one. Is he on this overlay? He is. Look, you can see like the little whirring engines going on over here, and you got the little lights playing and stuff. Little things that just make it still dynamic and alive, but wouldn't eat up all your resources whilst playing this game. Which is also why sometimes with these games they don't take up the whole screen. They only take a little bit up because they couldn't handle more. So yeah, let's move on to the next room. Let's see. Sorry, the engines. Two of you watch around the corner as Chief Kathy's continuing to mutter to herself, paces back and forth, checking the terminal readouts and various displays. Eventually, she heads down to the ladder that Cole's climbed to confront you. Now out of sight, Cassandra darts towards the engine room, gesturing you over. Checking over your shoulder in case the Chief has reappeared, you make your way to her, just in time for the doorway to the engine room to open and Cassandra to disappear inside before you can raise an objection. Kevin Scully is here. Good evening, Kevin. Happy Friday. Are we enjoying top tier pixel art? We are. We just gushed about it a moment ago, in case you were not here yet. How have you been, Kevin? And worth mentioning as well, Kevin, I am converted to this. Look, I got the game. I got stickers as well. I've got a badge over here. I'm so proud to represent this game. So yeah, that's just like all little tidbits that I got on for this occasion. And I'm even wearing green for the occasion because everything is green in this game. Well, it's got to be better than staying here with the Chief. #1 fan over here, says Kevin. The room you find yourself in is a similar size to the area you just left. But whilst that was crammed full of a huge range of machinery, this room is almost entirely filled by one colossal cylindrical device. The pulse of the engine is now a tangible sensation as the vibration it emits shake your whole body. So this is the main engine. Well, one of the I'm not going to do that. I thought it was just going to be like one line. So this is the main engine. Well, one of them anyway. Like Chief said, the ship outfitted with two of these. Yeah, I see what you meant now when you said the gun dogs, a huge set of engines with a ship strapped to them. This thing is massive. I know. I look at it and I feel like you could probably fit the rest of the ship in this room if the engine weren't there. That's because it's impossible to get the Higgs field distortion drive any smaller. Chief. Chief, I know you said So these engines are actually combination nuclear pulse engines built around the Higgs field distortion drive. This game has a lot of expository stuff to read out. I'm really trying. If the HFDD wasn't here, then this engine could be about 10 times smaller than it is. Although I hear they've managed to improve the efficiency of the newer NPEs, so it's possible that the space saving could be more like 11 times smaller. Can either of you tell me more about how the HFDD works? HFDD? X-Field Distortion Drive. What are they teaching you at the Academy? It's a drive that allows your ship to move far beyond speeds allowed to the conventional engines, although it's nowhere near faster than light. You can know all about the engineering terminology, says Rosie. No, I don't. It's what led us around the solar system without needing to worry whether we'll live long enough to see the end of the journey. Anyway, everyone knows about the existence of the Higgs field. It's what allows interactions with the Higgs boson that gives particular their mess. Oh, right. So, what the drive does is warp the field relative to the ship and those on board. By doing this, it displaces the mass to a different area of space, but within the same relative. Just Chief keeps rambling on. As the Chief continues on with her explanation, you glance at Cassandra and see a thinly veiled look of terror on her face. You can't blame her as you feel much of the same way caught in this impromptu lecture. Then because of that, I think I'm just gonna, just for the sake of the 2 hours, I'm gonna move on from this one. So the field is, it's got the mass which is pushed. No! How do I put it? Okay, so imagine a space like ketchup packet. I'm gonna have to move on from this one if we want to see show more of this game. But yes, Chief is very passionate about how things run. And that's probably good to remember because she might be a very reliable source down the line. Anytime. Just remember, Lieutenant. Screw with anything and I'll throw you out of the airlock instead. Yes, Chief. Okay, let's have a look. Engineering. Central computer? Yeah, there we go. This is still locked away because this is for higher authorities. Oh, even with your security clearance, you won't be able to go into the main computer room. Because the staff is so small, the ship's computer handles a lot of tasks that were normally done by the crew. It controls a lot of really sensitive functions, so only the captain and the operations teams are allowed access. Oh, I don't think any of the ships I've been on have had a computer system like this. The bigger ships usually have their computer distributed amongst multiple systems across the ship. But because they're also got larger crews, there's more that the people on board are responsible for. I think that's because a Swift class is so small that there's such a limited crew, they need to assign more functionality to the computer. Because of that, it's a lot more vital than no one screws around with it. I see. You had that operation have you set that operations have access. Can we make a look? Can we take a look using your authority? Well, since the whole reason I'm here is that I didn't exactly take my responsibilities with the Reliant computer system seriously, the captain told me to not mess around with it. But it's not that interesting anyway. Or is it? Or is it, right? It is like the main computer. There must be tons of secrets held over there. Right, so we've done that. Let's go back to the hallway. Armory. What was that over there again? Yeah, that's it. You swipe your key card through the card reader set into the terminal by the armory's door. Instead, the door opening, as you would expect, you hear a harsh tone from the terminal. Looking at this screen, you see a message displayed in large flashing letters. Access denied. Insufficient authority. Cassandra says, it looks like your clearance hasn't fully processed yet. You'll have to meet the captain before you can get into that room. When someone tells me something isn't interesting, that only makes me more interested. Yeah, exactly, yeah. What is it? there's like tons of like little rooms that you'll have in companies or what is it, or like shops, and you're like, oh, but what is over there though? What is behind the curtain and stuff? But yeah, have you been able to read? Oh, no, you're gonna do this weekend, of course. You said. So I was talking to Kevin privately about the little gift I gave him, which is a magazine, which I think is right up his alley. Let's go Central Hub. So now we haven't unlocked it yet, but we do have a very cool feature within this game that simplifies a lot of elements in this game, which I think is a great quality of life improvement on the PC 98 formula. Let's try airlock. Here we go. And this is the main airlock. It's the main way to get on and off the ship when it's docked. Thanks, we've already been here. Oh, really? When? That's how we got on the ship? Actually, I think I'm confusing it with somewhere else. What else can you tell me? Well, it's got one of the best views on the ship, that's for one. You look around and see, you can't see many windows. You wouldn't expect to a military vessel where an inclusion like that could compromise the structure. Here? Really? Yeah, really, check it out. Cassandra strides over to the terminal set into the wall next to the airlock hatch and quickly begins typing commands into it. You hear a sequence of beeps and then she stands back, gesturing proudly to the screen. Not too bad, huh? You look at the screen, but all you can see is a dark display with a few errant pixels suspended on it. Is that working? Of course it's working! Look! You stare at it a little harder at the screen, and although it takes you a moment, you eventually realize that's an external feed! That's right! Normally you can only actually see out of the gun dog from either the bridge or the hangar. But the ship's covered in small cameras for combat situations. You can access the feed from the terminals around the ship. That's actually pretty cool. But isn't the view from the bridge or hangar better? You know, because you're all actually looking out? Well, maybe, but there's always someone else around. You never get the view to yourself. No one ever comes here, and it's so quiet, it's almost like you're out there. I guess I see what you mean. It's pretty quiet out this way, and with a fancy screen like that, it's basically the real view. I knew you'd understand. I'll add the command to your terminal access. That way you can come out here and see the stars whenever you want. Thanks. So, you can basically like interact with all the elements as well if you want more dialogue, but for the sake of this stream, I won't be interacting too much with it. Let's have a look. Airlock, have we done that one? Yes, we have. We've done that one. The bridge, have we done that one yet? No, we haven't, and here we go. Nemesis would love to see some stars, says Rosie. For those who don't know, the Nemesis is the character from Resident Evil 3, what Rosie is referring to, just in case you didn't know. You step from the elevator onto the bridge, and what seems to have been a pretty quiet atmosphere turns totally silent as the two women present, who had previously been observing a screen, turn to face you. You identify the captain almost immediately by her uniform, although you are given pause to wonder if you've misjudged as she listlessly straightens up and hands over to you with an air of disinterest. The other woman shoots you a look but remains seated at her station, quickly turning away when she realizes you've caught her looking your way. The curtness of her reaction catches you off guard as she quickly returns to what she'd been doing before you entered. Hopefully Cassie's presence can thaw what you feel might be a cold reception. Yeah, indeed, she's got the anime, is it all according to Keikaku glasses going on. Yeah, she is going to be quite the interesting character down the line from what I've played thus far. So look forward to that one. LieutenantNico Vleek entering the bridge and reporting for formal assignment. You declare, throwing a sharp salute with Cassandra quickly following suit. Commander Cassandra entering the bridge in accompaniment of Lieutenant Fleek. Is it Otacon says I need more chicken nuggets? Do people like to do that a lot when they have like thick glasses? Do they like to like move them up? I don't know if we have people in our community at the moment who wear glasses. I probably should get my eyes checked though, because I've had too many times where my vision just kind of gets blurry, and I'm like, I probably should get that checked. Zetsubera, the question is though, do you feel smarter when doing that? Do you feel smarter with it? I think someone said it like that. Some people wear like fake glasses to look smarter at panels or something. Hikari King says I push my glasses up that way. So it's good to know that that there are people out there that actually feel smarter when they do that. You're taken aback slightly as you realize that you're hardly ever seen Cassie be serious about anything, even her position. Animo Chicken Nugget says, I don't wear glasses, but if I did, I totally do it all the time. I probably would as well, in honesty. Whenever she had to talk about her assignments, it's always been dismissive in a joking way. You're caught so off guard that you almost miss the captain's addressing you. At ease, Lieutenant Commander. You and Cassie both lower your salutes and loosen your posture slightly. That's a slight pause, which you can tell is the captain sizing you up. This informal assessment lasts a little bit longer than you're comfortable with, until the captain releases a heavy sigh. Welcome aboard, Lieutenant. I appreciate your prompt appearance. You'll have to forgive me for not coming to formally welcome you to the Gundog when you first boarded. The order to depart was an urgent one, as we needed to head out as soon as possible. We wouldn't have left without you, of course. We've been given word that your transport was running late, and the system notified us when you were on board. So I made the decision to set sail as soon as we received you. Thinking about it, it was unusual that there hasn't been a formal onboarding process beyond the dock staff checking your idea and guiding you onto the Gundog. You'd not realized in your rush, but now it was obvious. But it did make sense that if it wasn't an urgent dispatch, the ship would launch as soon as all of its crew were aboard. Not a problem at all, ma'am. I apologize for the tardiness. There's another pause before the captain's response. You can't help but feel a little bit uncomfortable, unsure whether the captain is slowly deliberating something or engaging the conversation with as little energy as possible. Think nothing of it. These things happen. Anyway, Lieutenant, I'd like to take care of the opportunity to formally welcome you to JFS Gundog. My name is Captain Maris Bardamuze. I run as tight a ship as you'd expect, and I anticipate that you'll carry out all of your duties to the same standard. Yes, ma'am. From experience, most onboarding procedures have involved greetings and speeches from the captain that have ranged from serious to almost ceremonial. In comparison, Captain Bartamuse's introduction is almost lethargic. Your cart, Lieutenant? Yes, ma'am. The item button will activate when you are able to use items in your inventory. In some cases, you will need to use an item to proceed, but in others, whether you use an item is not up to you. When possible, select the item button to open the inventory, then select the item to use it. To dismiss the inventory select the item button again. So, buddies, we're now at the 1 hour mark, and thank you so much for coming in, BST Memes, and always enjoy your lurk. Since we're on the 1 hour mark, this kind of leaves us with the opportunity to show you another chapter, because chapter 2 is going to be a lot of this at the moment. A lot of like expository, meeting characters, and very extensive descriptions of the things around you. Again, chapter 2 serves its purpose to kind of like guide you through some of the characters that are on the ship, as well as how things work, because, you know, as you know, with like mecha animes and stuff, they love their details. They love to explain every single bolt in the system, because yeah, that's just something that that you see a lot with Gundam animes. They love that expository lore building. So there's a lot of that, but there's also a little bit more like a suspenseful moment in the game, which I would love to show you guys as well. But that is obviously up to you, buddies, if you'd rather have a more chilled out environment where it's a lot more reading, or if you want something a little bit more suspenseful. So what I'll do is I'll make a poll so that people can just vote easier. Would we like more of chapter 2, or try the next chapter? There we go. Right. Whilst the poll's up, I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom, and I'll see you buddies in a moment. Right, let me just look at something quickly. Okay, awesome. I should be back. I see that the next chapter has one. Awesome. Let me quickly set that one up. I am going to probably just remove the gameplay for just a second, just in the event that I click on a spoiler, and that's not what we want either. So I think what I did was this one. Right, we have now made our bed. We're going to do this chapter. This is chapter 4, buddies. So to kind of catch everyone up to speed on this one, what's happened in the game now is we've met the whole crew, and everyone is all fine and whatsoever. And we met this one pilot from our previous journey who has a bit of a grudge against us because it turns out that all of his men were sent out on this mission and got killed as a result, whereas I, on the other hand, had an unfortunate accident where my engine wasn't working, and as a result, I survived that mission because I never really fully attended it. But he always held this grudge against me. We go back up to the captain to report everything is fine, hunky-dory and whatsoever. Captain is not there though, and what suddenly happens in the middle of a report, we get this massive crash happening within our system, and the lights are out, and our partner Cassandra has fallen unconscious as well from a massive headache that suddenly sparked into her. So that's currently the state of affairs that we find ourselves at this point. We're in the captain's room, and it's just like, well, go find out what to do. So yes, this is chapter 4. So that's kind of we're up to speed with the game, and this is what it looks like now. Now, doesn't this look exciting? You search blindly for a few seconds until your hand meets her shoulder as you move towards her. Cassie! Hey! Cassie! Say something! Cassie! Hang in there, Cassie. Lieutenant Lord, call sickbay at the doctor's up here right now. I can't. Why not? The ship's entire system has been knocked offline. Even the emergency backup systems. It's all offline. We don't have time for this. Get it back online. You rise quickly and stand over to the elevator, slamming your hand against the call button. I'm going to take Cassie down to the sick bay. You can... Aside from your voice, the whole room remains totally silent. Most conspicuously absent through, though, is the whirring of the elevator that would take you directly to the sick bay. You rapidly press the call button in frustration. Idiot! What part of offline do you not understand? Quinn's not going anywhere until at least the backup systems are online. But that can't be done from the bridge. What do you mean? How do we get them back online? It's an emergency fail-safe. If there's a critical failure within the central computer and it can't function properly, then the entire ship will be shut down. Then it enters a lockdown mode until it can be rebooted. All areas are sealed in case the shutdown is the result of an enemy action. The main computer in engineering needs to be physically rebooted to restore any sort of access. Of course, since this is a security system, you should all know this. Because remember, we are the security staff member of this team. So yeah, we kind of supposed to know this. You grit your teeth to stop yourself snapping back at Vanessa in the heat of the moment. All thought of process and procedure had left you completely. All you've been thinking about was getting Cassie to sickbay. Placing your head in your hand, you pinch the bridge of your nose and try to focus. That's right, but it stays in the order to reboot the central computer given from the bridge in that situation. Why did you say we can't? This is where the Event Horizon stuff begins, says Chicken Nuggets. 2 reasons. First of all, this lockdown shouldn't affect the backup systems. But for some reason, everything seems to like it's offline, which means there's no internal communication system right now. And secondly, even if we have the internal communication system, access to the computer requires input codes which are known only by the captain. Or in the event that the captain is incapacitated, the second in command. Vanessa turns to look at Cassandra, who shifts slightly as she continues to talk to head back to Cassie, kneeling beside her and placing her in the recovery position. Rosie, you know how to put someone in the recovery position, right? I used to be able to know how to do that, but I know that Rosie got first aid training, so she might remember. Feeling the cold steel of the floor as you turn Cassie over, you take your uniform jacket and lay it over her, which currently would be Lieutenant Quinn. Meaning that right now, the people who know the necessary information to get back the ship up and running are out of action. There's got to be some way around all of this. Weren't you listening? This isn't supposed to happen. We should at least have the backup systems in place. Without them, there's nothing we can do except sit around and wait for the air to run out. What about the O'Brien? Can you contact them for support? So the O'Brien is the other entity that we were actually in contact with a moment ago until the connection completely broke off. So yes, there is another party outside of this ship that we could contact. But of course, as Vanessa says, everything is offline. What part of you are you not getting? As you kneel over Cassie, your mind races through what Vanessa has told you. You know that she's right, and that all of the ship's emergencies action plans revolve around the backup system being operational, and without them online, the next to nothing that can be done within the ship. Your mind catches to that point for a moment, and you can't help but wonder whether whoever wrote that plan was optimistic enough that they couldn't see a situation where the backup failed. Or whether they were so pessimistic they felt that if those systems were out of commission, that there was no real hope for the crew either. Pushing that thought out of your head, you desperately try to figure out a way to get Cassie to the sick bay. There's got to be something you know about the ship that would help in all your time you've spent working as a security officer. There's got to be something that you've picked that would... That's it! In the crew's quarters, the panel by the bunks can be removed and replaced. People use the space in the structure to hide contraband. What are you talking about? The ship's maintenance crawlways are accessed in the same way. If I'm right, you head back over to the elevators, but this time, instead of trying to call them, you begin to run your hands through over the seams in the wall panels on either side. Eventually, you notice a gap a few inches in length. Normally, maintenance would have a special tool to access this, but you can do the same thing with... I know I've got it somewhere. Where is it? You can use your key card for it. Taking your ID card out into your pocket, you slide it into the gap in the seam until it meets some resistance when it's about halfway in. A hammer says... Indeed said. You slide it up a few times until you feel it stick on something, at which point you push harder. Suddenly you hear the sound of multiple catches disengaging, and the panel falls towards you. Taking the wall panel in both hands, you place it onto the side where it used to be attached. Now, instead of a solid wall, you can make it out through the absence large enough to someone to fit inside, with a series of rungs head downwards into a darkness which opens up as they pass by where the elevator currently sits. How did you know to do this? This is one of the first tricks you learn as a security officer. Ship crews get very creative with where they stash things. With these panels, it makes sense that the maintenance crawlways are accessed in a similar way. Well, great. Now you can crawl through the walls in the dark. Very helpful. You grit your teeth and breathe, and try to breathe. You hadn't talked to Vanessa much since you first met. You both were now beginning to understand why she always ate alone in the mess hall. If I can get up and get in, it means I can get out down in the central hub. From there, I can see if we can get emergency input codes from the captain and make contact with the chief in engineering. Do you really think you can solve by clambering around inside the walls? Even if you can make it to the central hub, the rest of the ship will... Lieutenant Lord, would you... What are we feeling, buddies? What are we feeling? What are we feeling? Which answer are we going to pick? Which answer are we going to pick? I want to see what the buddies have to say about this one. Oh, Rosie knows which ones he's going to pick. Rosie knows which she's going to pick. I'll just make a quick poll. I'm still thinking the hammers is Seth. Pick answer 1 or 2. There we go. There we go. Done. Which answer we're going to pick? 1 immediately gets picked. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I thought I'd make a poll for the lurkers so you don't have to type away. You can just click which one you want to pick. Everyone says shut up. Here we go. Lieutenant Lord, would you please shut up already? That was really loud. Although the sudden outage of the ship's systems, as well as failure to defend all the backups, was stressful enough that you felt, on some level, that you'd be able to handle it. It's just a mechanical failure, something the Chief was probably working on at this very moment. This spooked the cat. I'm very sorry, cat. I'm very sorry. Which you couldn't deal with Vanessa's attitude. I get it. All right, I get it. Everything's offline. Message received. Loud and clear. But I'm not going to sit around and do nothing but listen to you whine when everyone else on the ship is counting on me to do something. Not this time. Vanessa's mouth hangs open in shock as she tries to stammer out a response, but you quickly cut her off. Now, I'm going to leave you here and get this fixed. You can either sit here and wait for the air to run out, or you get your head out of you get your head out of your bum and you start helping. Wow. Vanessa continues to gape out in disbelief, completely taken aback by your outburst. All right. You do that. I'll try to get the internal communications working. Since the backup should work in a situation... backup in a situation like this, maybe there's a way to get them back online. Cats never forgive. True. Get moving! Or are you going to just stand around and gog whilst I get everything done myself? You inadvertently sigh loudly as you turn around and reach out into a crawl space, grabbing a rung and then placing your foot on the lower down. Hopefully, I can get this thing back online with the Chief and the Captain's help. Just look after Lieutenant Commander Quinn until then, alright? Vanessa turns away from you, continuing to adjust the inputs on communication systems. Now, I will say as well, buddies, I do not know if your answers determine what kind of things are going to happen in the game. I haven't got that far yet, but I have a suspicion. I can't say with certainty. You have to ask the devs or just play the game yourself at this point. But I do wonder what happens if you basically say to Vanessa, like, screw you, you're in my way. Be rude to someone else, you know what I mean? Yeah, sure. With that, you lower yourself into the darkness. You get little NES jingles going on. With that, you lower yourself into the darkness, taking it one rung at a time. Once you pass the stationary elevator, you can feel the space you're in open up around you. Carrying on downwards, you reach behind you every so often to see if you can feel the catch system that would keep on the access panel attached. After a few attempts to find it, your finger eventually brushes over a catch. With some coercion, you manage to get it to release, causing the whole panel to fall off the wall behind you and clatter on the floor of the central hub. As you step out of the crawlway, a loud banging starts from the nearby. You immediately reorientate yourself to face the room, placing your hand on your electroshock weapon just in case. As you scan the room in the dim lighting, the banging continues, and you realize it's not coming from anywhere in the central hub, but one on the elevators. With your hand still hovering over your weapon, you still slowly move towards the noise, trying to make as little sound as possible, hoping that whoever or whatever is trying to make it doesn't know you're there. Despite the darkness, you can see that the elevator doors are open slightly, with an inch or so gap between the two doors. You angle yourself to try and see what's inside. Your question is answered. And it's Hansen. So this is the character. I don't know if I got a sticker of Hansen. Hold up 1 second. I'll give you just a reference point so you know what Hansen looks like. I bet I've got Hansen in here. Un momento. Here we go. So this is our friend Hansen over here. And, yeah, he was not happy to meet us. Not at all. And, he was not being a nice guy about it either. In fact, he was a bit of a bully towards us. So, he caused a ruckus, and Cassandra wasn't really pleased with that either. Just to keep that in mind. So, he's always sassy, always mean, always trying to rile you up, essentially. But you have to ask yourself whether all of that is deserved or not. Because, like I said, it's because our ship didn't fully take off, yet all of his men died. So, yeah. Just to keep in mind, that's who Hansen is, and you want to keep that in mind because there's some decisions coming up. Hey, who's out there? Whoever you are, help me get these stupid doors open. Oh, the thing's jammed. You pause for a moment. You haven't seen Hansen since the other day, outside your quarters. I know you're out there. I heard you. Get me out. Get over here and help me out to get the doors open. Hey, what are you waiting around for? As Hansen continues to call out, you size up the situation. With the darkness of the room, you could easily come out and go without him being able to tell that it's you. On top of that, it's unlikely that he'd be able to force open the elevator doors on his own. Hey, come on! This isn't funny! Who's out there? Stop jerking me around! It's petty. But part of you almost relishes the idea of Hansen seeing how it feels to be trapped and unable to do anything. Haru, if you're hearing me, I'll kick your ass! So Haru is another character in the... Was it on the ship that Hansen finds himself around a lot. Still, he's a member of the crew. As a security officer, it's your role to keep them all safe, regardless of how much of a debt he might be. You take a deep breath and get ready, buddies. Help him open the doors, or leave him be. So, just so you have, I'll do it one more time. I'll do it one more time. I'll do it one more time. There we go. This is the character. This is the... Oh, excuse me. This is the character that we're saving here. He may be rude, but I'd help him, says Hikari Kim. So I feel that Seth is going full rogue over here. Seth is like, forget it. Hope you brought a Game Boy. Is what Seth thinks. I see one. Let me just make a very quick poll. Just so that people can just keep lurking away. Answer 1 or 2. There we go. What was that? I'll have a sip of my drink. You see, the thing is, chicken nuggets, our community will always take, what is it? The evil answer over the nice one. And then, we get the naughty votes, right? We get the naughty votes. Ooh, a split. If it's a split, then I'll make the choice. If it's a split, I'll have to choose. Oh, here we go. We got 1. Help him open the doors is what's winning. Open the doors and poke him with electroshock. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we've got a gun on us as well. And it's going to be 1. We're going to help him open the doors. Hold it for a second before releasing one long, constant sigh. Hey, I heard you. I know you're there. Get me out. All right, Ensing. I'll take the door on the right. You take the door on the left. On the count of 3, we pull. Great. Everyone on board is everyone's on board, and it's the Kyla Coward. Figured you'd stop by here, find a nice little space and crawl up and hide in. Helping me out so we can trade places and you can ride it out until the action's over. You immediately begin to regret your decision. Christ, do you want me to get you out there or not? Whatever. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3. The two of you both heave against the elevator doors, which shifts slightly, but not enough for Hansen to get out. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3. This time the doors yield a little bit more to your efforts. After they open a few more inches, you step back after you catch your breath and watch as Hansen sticks his arm through the gap, but struggles to get any further than that. Once more, and we should be able to have you out there. Shame your girlfriend isn't here. At least she's got a backbone she could be putting into this. You freeze for a moment as you feel all your muscles stiffen reflexively, and a wave of anger flows through you. Excuse me, Insane. You hurt me. She's the one who's between the two of you with any stones. If she had been there to save you the other day, I'd have... You'd have what? I'd have... Think hard before you answer, Insane. Give me the wrong answer and you can try to squeeze that thick skull of yours through that gap without any more help. That's what I thought. Forget it. That's what I thought. Now get ready. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3. It takes you two of you to a few more attempts, but finally you manage to push the doors open to the point where Hansen can make his way through the gaps between the two of them. Free of the elevator, Hansen dusts himself down and looks around whilst adjusting his jacket. So, what the hell's going on here? What's happened to the whole ship? Why is everything stopped working? There should be backups or something, right? You pause for a moment. Despite having been on the bridge when everything went wrong, you probably have as much of an idea as Hansen would. Honestly, we've got no idea. I was on the bridge when it all happened. We made a contact with O'Brien where there was this flash, and then Commander Quinn, because he's obviously talking Cassandra, Commander Quinn had been knocked out. All the systems were offline, even the backups. I managed to get off the bridge using the maintenance crawlway. Now we're trying to figure out a way to reboot the computer to get everything back online. Just great. I knew this shit was a piece of junk the moment I stepped on board. You said your guys had a plan to get this thing up and running, yeah? Yeah, kinda. Great. You can handle that. I'm gonna go check on the crew. Have you seen Haru? No, I haven't run into them. Okay then. I'll try their quarters. With that, Hansen heads into the darkness towards the Foresight thoroughfare. He stops briefly, turning to face you. And, Lieutenant? Thanks. Or whatever. The pilot quickly turns on his heels and disappears into the darkness. Don't mention it. So, for the people that are interested in this game, so one thing I think is awesome about this, if you press triangle, or the top face button, you get this wonderful menu of the entire ship. So, you know when I was talking about like how you could be moving about like this with your normal menu? Now, if you're like me and you find it very like overwhelming to know where you have to go, like you know the locations but you just don't know the routes towards it, no problem. You press triangle, boom, you got a menu up over here. So this is a very nice way to still respect the routes of the original like PC98 style, but also Nico Nav assistance. Can we please time out BuddyGames? But yes, you can you can basically get to any area very, very easily like that. And if you press square, if you press circle, then you can have a menu over here called tasks. Now obviously right now the task is very simple. It's just find a way to reactivate the gun dog. But if you've got like an accumulative list of things you got to do, like in chapter 2, this is a very easy way to keep track of that. Now, why is that so novel? Well, I've played games like Snatcher, and sometimes it is very difficult to remember what it is that you're actually doing in the game, or what you're actually looking for, because the game doesn't have an extortion amount of exhaust dialogue as well, which happens a lot in games like Snatch and PC 98, where you have to click on the same thing a couple of times. The game doesn't really do that, and the Stories from Soul doesn't really do that, and it just makes the experience far more streamlined. I just think that's worth mentioning, because when you see a game of this nature, you expect those hurdles to be there, and they are, but there are also quality of life things that will guide you and help you to keep that conveyance up, to ensure that you can basically beat the game. So I think that's really cool that the game did that, and I just wanted to like congratulate that and point that out, that yes, you found a nice balance of respecting the old, but also introducing new features that modern gamers are probably more expecting. Another thing that's really cool is that when you look at stuff on PlayStation, I think it's also with the PC if you use the D-pad and stuff, you can just point at stuff if you just press the buttons, and then it will just lead you to the thing you can click on. Whereas with some games, you have a cursor and it's very difficult to find what it is that is actually, you know, interactable. But again, on PC, you can play with a cursor, so you can then still have that element back. I just think that all this stuff really does add up for a more modern experience for this game, even though it is obviously a game that came out like a few weeks ago. Right. So we need to figure out what's going on. So clearly we need to go to the engineering room, let's say. That was this way, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. It's this way. Let's put them back up here. As you leave the central hub and enter the long corridor that comprises the AFT thoroughfare, the first thing that you notice is the sound of your steps in the metal flooring, ringing out and echoing away down the corridor. Normally, the vibrations from the engines would dull this noise, and it would be barely perceptible over their low and steady rumble. You got to the point where you didn't even notice the constant noise down this end of the ship, but now that the corridor is silent, its absence hits you. I should be able to find the chief in engineering. If anyone can figure this out, it'll be her. The armory. I don't think there's going to be anything in there that will help me out. Even if the ship is locked down, I'm not sure trying to blow them up would be a good idea. Maybe we can use something? Move to engineering. At the end of the AFT thoroughfare, where the corridor would normally transition from corridor to engineering department, instead you're met with a substantial blast door with the word engineering stenciled on it. You run your hand over the surface before rapping on it with your knuckles. Rather than a low ring, which would indicate it being relatively thin, this door returns a higher pitched noise, indicating that it's significantly thicker than normal. Unlike the rest of the doors of this ship, which are designed as entrances and exits, you can tell that this one exists more to block one section off from the center. You instantly dismiss any thoughts of forcing it open. It's likely that even the contents of the armory couldn't shift it. After a minute or two, fruitlessly inspecting it, you shrug to yourself. The only thing you can do right now is hope that the chief is nearby. Hey, chief! You pound on the door with your fist, hoping that the sound makes its way through. Chief, can you hear me? You continue to pound on the door and yell, stopping every so often to hear if there's any kind of response. Chief, I'm out here, Chief, hey! After a few minutes worth of attempting to make your contact, you stop and flex the fingers of your right hand, crackling your knuckles to try and dismiss the discomfort. Given the size of the engineering department, you begin to think about how close the chief would need to be, even if he hear you, and the odds of that happening. Before you can resume your attempts, though you hear a dull, repetitive thudding coming from the other side. Chief, can you hear me? I'm out here. You call, pressing your ear up the blast door, up to the blast door to see if you can hear an answer. Instead, you hear the same dull, repetitive thudding. At first, it seems random and erratic, but the longer you listen, you begin to realize there's a pattern. If anyone is good with Morse code, you'd be able to figure that one out. That's great, but what does it mean? In defeat, you slam your fist against the door one more time. Chief, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'll try to find a way to get in there with you. At least I know there's someone in there. There's got to be some way to get in touch with them. Send them a signal. The abyss is staring back. Says I need more chicken nuggets. Maybe there's something I haven't thought of yet. An emergency communication system? Something that's not tied into the ship? Think! So yes, someone is trying to communicate with us through the other side. And this reminds me of, I don't know if the devs are here and if that was intentional or not, but it just reminds me of Metal Gear 2. Not Metal Gear Solid 2. It reminds me of the MSX Metal Gear 2 with Motnar, I think his name was. It's one of the professors. He uses Morse code as well. But yeah, maybe more PC-98 games did that. But that's where my mind went to. Yeah, let's have a look. So where can we go from here? Airlock is an area we could try. Let's try the airlock. As you enter, the airlock hatch door looms large in the darkness. A shiver runs through you and you rub your forearms. It wasn't something you'd notice until now, but you'd feel... But as you feel the goosebumps that cover your skin, you realize that the ship's temperature has now dropped noticeably. I've got to find a way to get things up and running again. Yeah, Dr. Matnar, that's the one. That's the one. Zetsubera. Zetsubera, I don't know. Are you by any chance one of the devs on the team? You could be just an individual that happens to watch, but just wondering. Yeah, Matnar does that in Metal Gear 2. And it's a really cool puzzle. Was it in Metal Gear 2? Unfortunately, yes, you mean you're just an individual that channels in. That's no problem, there's no biggie. I'm just glad you got the reference. Emergency space suits open for use in the event of ship depressurization, failure with the life support systems, or if the crew have to abandon ship. They've got the distress beacons and closed radios installed for rescue situations. Hopefully, I can get this solved without needing an extra air supply. The O'Brien's probably just out of reach for a short-range radio. If we were closer to Jupiter, we could probably signal. And that's when it hits us. Signal! That's it! There must be a way to... That must have been what Chief was trying to tell me. So now, if we go over there and use it, you grab the handle on the suit's container and twist. The metal in your hand is cold to the touch, an uncomfortable reminder of the ship's decreasing ability to support life. Once the lock is undone, you open the door and, bracing the suit with your left hand, grab the radio with your right. As you pull it away from the suit, you flip the radio over to examine it. The bottom half of the device consists of a pistol grip with a secondary microphone and speaker, which allow it to be used separately from the suit. As you investigate it further, you realize that your thumb is resting comfortably on the push-to-talk button. The top half of the unit on the side has a backlit LCD screen showing the current frequency it's tuned to and the battery level. Below the screen sits an ambiguous button, whilst to the side of it is a dial for turning on and a power switch. Hello, Carl. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. We're playing Stories from Saul, the Gun Dog, which is a game that's been released on multiple platforms. I'm currently playing it on PlayStation 5, and I bought myself a copy of it as well because I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. Carl, you'll be happy to know this game over here is a Welsh game. This is made in Wales. But yes, what is it? Hope you're doing well. Hope is it your fam lamb is doing well as well. But yes, I'm going to go quickly read this again. Turning the radio in your hand, you find where the cord that tethers the whole unit to the suit connects and unscrew the attachment point, allowing the cable to spring back towards the suit. You quickly extend the telescoping antenna and flick the power switch, which causes the sound of whining static to fill the previously silent room. Then, slowly rotating the tuning dial, you work your way through the frequencies until a familiar voice comes out from the tinny speaker. An emergency broadcast from Chief Engineer Mackenzie Cathy's on the JFS Gundog to any JFS Gundog crew member or any JCF ships nearby. The Gundog has suffered a complete system failure and assistance is needed to get back online. I repeat, this is an emergency broadcast from Chief Engineer Mackenzie Cathy's on the JFS Gundog to any JFS Gundog crew members or any JCV ships nearby. The Gundog has suffered a complete system failure and assistance is needed to get them back online. Chief, this is Lieutenant Fleek. Reading you loud and clear. I've managed to get an emergency radio from one of the suits in the airlock. I'm able to get around the thoroughfares and to the bridge, but I can't get anywhere else. It took you long enough. Don't they teach you Morse code in basic training anymore? You're just about to push the button to send the response, but the chief cuts in. Anyway, you're in touch now. That's what counts. You said you could help get to the bridge? Is that right? That's right, Chief. Then get back up there and get the captain to give the input codes to access the main computer so that I can get the ship up and running. Slight complication, though. The captain's taken sick. She's not on the bridge. Yes, so the captain of the ship, she's been, since Chapter 3, she's basically been like MIA. And we've been going to her room to see if she's okay, but we haven't had any response from her. That's context that you're lacking in this chapter at the moment. Classic Bartholomews. Then get back up there and get Lieutenant Commander Quinn to give me the input codes. She's out of commission too. She collapsed at the same time as the ship's power went out. Release your thumb, allowing the chief to broadcast, but where you expected a swiftly delivered alternative, instead, all you get is radio static. Chief? Nothing's ever easy, huh, Lieutenant? Who's currently on the bridge, then? That'll be Lieutenant Lord. Well, she's the commanding officer on board right now, I guess. You're going to want to get up there. I've got an idea, but it's not something I can authorize. Your grip on the radio tightens as a sense of apprehension grows within you. You don't know what the chief has in mind, but if it requires the authority of the ship's senior officer, you know what it's got to be something dangerous. Realizing you've been holding your breath as your chief's last message, you breathe out and push the button on the radio side to send your message. Copy that, Chief. Heading up there now. Radio in hand, you quickly make your way back to the airlock, into the central hub, and then head straight for the maintenance crawlway. It only takes you a moment of groping around in the darkness to find the ladder rung before you're on your way back to the bridge. With no more time to waste, you quickly head back to the crawlway. It only takes a few moments of groping around in the darkness to find your ladder, rung before you're on your way back up to the bridge. As you climb, each rung that you grip is cold to the touch, and the air that you breathe has a brisk chill to it. We're all good, Nico, says Carl, and that's great to hear. It's great that Wales is being recognized for more than just Tom Jones and disappointing rugby. I shall have to look up the devs. Yeah, the devs are Space Colony Studios, in case you're wondering. You know what this means, but for the time being, decide to push that thought out of your head. You've got other things to focus on. I think, buddies, we're going to cut it here, and I'm going to go to big webcam. There's a lot more to discuss about this game, but as you can already tell, this game can go on for as long as it likes at this point, because you can read out so many cool things. But I think I've kind of made the point about this game. Again, thank you so much, Astrolabe Games, as well as Space Colony Studios, for giving us a key on PlayStation 5. But I went ahead and got the game anyways. Because, yeah, when I played it, when you guys gave us the key and we played it, I fell so in love with it that I had to get the game myself. So, as I said, you can play this game on PlayStation 5, on Steam, and on Nintendo Switch. Big recommend. This might be a good game to play by yourself on Steam Deck or something like that. But yes, I got the game over here, as well as a little badge that I got from Bristol Video Games Expo. And again, Space Colony Studios, like, congratulations on this game. Absolutely smashed it. I wish we had more games like this on on multiple platforms, and it's so cool to see an indie game as well being launched at the same time on PlayStation as it is on Steam. So yes, thank you so much for that, because we've got a big PlayStation audience over here, and they will massively appreciate the efforts that you guys have put into ensuring that game is on that platform as well. Right, with that said, we have got one more stream ready for you this week, and that's on Sunday, which is not going to have me in it, I'm afraid, but you will have Liam playing 2 Point Museum, key provided. Do we know who the key provided, Liam? Can we say that? Just to be sure. But yes, we can play 2 Point Museum at 1 p.m. GMT. And Liam can show you the game. 2 Point Museum is what Rosie says. Then afterwards, obviously, we'll have multiple other streams for you ready in the realm of BuddyGames, which is going to probably be me and Liam again, because again, Rosie's still in recovery, and we're going to have to wait until Rosie gets better until we can have it on the channel again. Yes, okay, I just wanted to make sure I got it 100% correct. I don't know, when my intrusive thoughts in my brain said like, oh, wait till you got confirmation. But yes, Guillotine as well as Sega, thank you so much for providing us with a copy as well as a key for 2 Point Museum, and Liam has been loving it, and he cannot wait to show you what that game is all about. So yes, those are the games that we've got planned for you all in the next few days, and with that, we've got a couple of call outs as well. And it's working. Good work, awesome. Kid. We have got a Discord and the Blue Sky. Discord and Blue Sky is the best place to stay up to date. Whenever we sorry, I got a message coming in as well. Is the best place to stay up to date whenever you want to see whenever we go live, as well as some behind the scenes stuff. I've been posting a lot about the games that I've been collecting over the last few days, and I'm going to definitely make a post about this one as well. So look forward to that one on Blue Sky. We have an Instagram as well, where if that's more your preference, you can follow us over there. We do post whenever we go live over there as well. And like, we lost the follower over there. No, we don't matter that. We like to joke around when someone hasn't followed. So that's just the thing. You can follow us over there. If you want to see pictures of us, there's a picture of Liam wearing 2 Point Museum merch actually on there. So there's your little relevant link to that. We've got a Twitter page as well, which is what is it? We got a Twitter page where you can see whenever we go live. We don't really post on that one as much as we used to, but that is still there if that's your preference. And we also have a TikTok where we've highlighted forum reels where you can see some fun little short videos that we've made for the channel. And last but not least, we have a VOD channel as well over there where you can see Rift the Necrodancer, a game that I played yesterday on the channel. Wonderful little indie game that is super cool, and you should totally check that one out as well. With that said, yeah, one more thing. Hikari Kim, thank you so much for reminding me as well. And Carl does the same. It is Rosie's birthday tomorrow. Yes, 29 years old. And she's going to have lots of lovely gifts. I'm very excited to see what her response to them are. But yes, it's Rosie's birthday coming up. And I made sure she has a chocolate cake. She has her snacks. And we're going to have a couple of visitors over as well. So it's going to be a lovely time. Yeah, those are the socials as well. We have the Book of Eternityyy as well. I don't know if... there you go. So swift as usual. We have got, for subs, we got Bandit7512. Thank you so much for the subs. And for bits, we've got Bandit7512, Archduke of Prussia, and I saw Carl, you came in last minute as well. So I'll add you quickly in there as well. Thank you all so much for the bits. Again, all the money we make on BuddyGames goes straight back into it. Like the unit behind you, the headsets that we're wearing, the lighting on it, some of the decorations on it, all of it is funded by the buddies. So thank you all so much for making this show possible. We love doing it, and we love to provide you bonus streams as a result as well. Yes, with that said, let's see who we can raid. If we're lucky, Georgia is still live. Let me have a look. Georgia is still live. So let's do this. Let's raid Georgia. Just make sure I got the name right. There we go. Georgia is playing The Forgotten Cities, the finale of that game, so I look forward to that one. And with that said, I will see you all next week for another BuddyGames stream, and you'll see Liam on Sunday for Two Point Museum. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.